Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Our 5 Adventures. Like I said, I'm separating each kid's curriculum into their own video. So now we've moved on to Autumn's curriculum. She is a freshman. Now I am going to touch base on this. Because we're homeschooling, we're able to kind of fine-tune things a little bit. Because why teach a child something that they are not academically ready to process? It's not worth pushing something through that they don't understand. Yes, she's a freshman. She should be learning at basically the freshman level. But because we just started homeschooling last year, she is very behind her peers. She was not at the level she should have been for her age group, which in turn means some things are having to be catered a little bit differently to her. We're working on it, but it's one step at a time. So we're going to dive into this curriculum. I'm going to show you what we got. Again, I really like the Arbeca and the Knotgrass. So we did get some similarities as far as the publishers went. I haven't used the curriculum yet, but I liked how it looked. So let's see what we got. So we're going to start off with her social studies, basically economics. Exploring economics. Again, it is a Knotgrass publication. These are definitely more in-depth than what the grade school versions are, but I just liked how they did their curriculum. So you got chapter 1. It's a little bit more in-depth, but again, it's not that much. It's like there's one, like 2, like 6, 8, yeah, like 8 pages. Not horrible. But again, this has the lesson plan at the bottom, tells you what they should be doing. There are books that go with this. I did not get the books with this one, just because they were a little bit out of her level. Didn't want to push too hard. But that's the reading. I'm hoping she can handle this. Making choices, reading and economics. Again, this is another book that goes with the economics book. Socialism, capitalism, and all that fun stuff. So that goes there. That's the guide for the parents and the answer key. So this is basically the teacher's guide. And then we got the student review. This is all the questions that go with each unit. And then the quiz and exams. So, multiple choice, not too bad. But I like how this series is. If this is too challenging for her, I can tune it down if I have to. I'm going to try to get her at the level she's supposed to be. We will see how it goes. I do also have the U.S. Constitution because I want to make sure they understand the U.S. Constitution. This is a little bit too high of a level for Troy. A little bit lower of a level for Autumn, 5th to 8th grade. But it just goes through the Senate and just stuff like that. So I will be covering that with her this year. For math, we're going to work on some pre-algebra as well as just multiplication and division. She has no recall. There's no recall. Algebra, we tried last year and it was like pulling teeth. We tried algebra. That's where she technically should have been last year. It just didn't work. So we're going to try to backtrack into multiplication, division, and pre-algebra. Get that stuff fine-tuned. And hopefully by mid-year we can get back into algebra. But for now, we're just going to do a simplified book and try to get her back where she should be. She also has a cursive book. Just has all the different letters, as well as some combos so you can learn how to put 2 letters together. Cursive is just a necessity. They need to learn cursive. So that is another book that I'm adding into her curriculum. She as well has the daily lessons in grammar, easy grammar. This just has day 1, day 50. So, like this is day 50. Very simple little lesson. Lays out. Nice and simple work. Works on pronouns, verbs, all that stuff. So another simplified book. Not simplified, but simplified. She will be also doing a little bit of this on the side for herself because she enjoys horses. She enjoys learning about the anatomy. So this is just a book we started last year. We're going to continue on this year because we did not finish it last year. We had done like bones and stuff. So it's got the muscles and different muscle groups. It tells you things, the muscle names, and you color them. So that's one of the books she'll be working on. That's actually a college book. And then she's got her grade level of the Becca series, Science, Matter, and Energy. It's a little more complex than the grade school version. And just like the other curriculum, there's the quizzes. So it's got the quizzes in the book. There's the tests. So the actual tests. Don't know. This is set up more like regular school, so I don't know if I like that there's quizzes and tests. This is the teacher edition. So this is the teacher's book that lays out each thing. Kind of highlights what I need to work on. Literally, it's the same book, I think, for the most part. But that's the teacher's edition. There's our answer key, our quiz key, and our test key. So all our answer keys are there. So that is the science. And then she has her one final subject. Besides having her do some writing, she will be doing writing as well. But that, I found last year what worked really well was giving her the freedom to choose a topic that she was going to research and write. And she did very well with that. So we will probably continue on with that. I got her from writing like 3 to 4 sentences that had no description whatsoever to writing 2 pages with a lot of description. And it was causing her to have to read, which she hates doing. So we will continue doing that because I really liked how that worked for her. But we do have Spanish as well, a foreign language. This has all the Spanish words. There's 2 parts to that, and then the vocab manual for each section. So that is her foreign language. I don't know, this is like an all guessing game. I had bought a different curriculum, hated it. Just looking at it, I'm like, no, this isn't gonna work. It's just not gonna work. So this is a second curriculum I bought. I like it a lot better than the first one. Still haven't decided if I love it. So we'll find out. I do also have a Spanish-English dictionary I bought for her. So we're ready to dive in. So we're ready to dive in about a week. Not quite. A little bit less than a week. Ready to dive in and see how this year goes. The joys of teaching children that were left behind with the school system or special needs, delayed, learning disabilities. You get a child that is very behind. When you pull them from the school system and you start homeschooling, you realize just how much they're lacking in areas that the school system the No Child Left Behind, they keep pushing them on. They push them on, they push them on, they push them on. They don't catch them up. They just let them pass. So when you start homeschooling a child that is behind developmentally, intellectually, or special needs, you realize just how behind they are. And it's a lot harder to just take it on and teach them at the level that they're at, that they're supposed to be at. It makes it a lot harder once you get into high school years because they're supposed to be learning at the curriculum that they would be in high school. But why teach a child something that they do not understand? It doesn't work that way. So it makes life a little bit harder with the homeschooling. Luckily with homeschool you can kind of tailor it to them. So they're not just learning it to take a test. You want them to learn the stuff, grasp it, and remember it. Not just take a test and forget it. And last year we tried doing algebra, like I said, with Autumn. And that's what she was doing. She would figure it out. She could do the work. Take the test. And the algebra book we have keeps on going back to old lessons. we'd go back to an old lesson and she'd be like, I don't know. You learned it yesterday. There's no point in teaching them something that they're just going to store for a day and forget it. So I've kind of decided we're going to pull back a little bit and get the basics of math ironed down. She understands the concept of finding x, but she doesn't understand the slope and this and that and this. She doesn't. So we're going to try to get the basics, get the multiplication to the point where she can see the numbers and actually know the answer without having to count on her fingers or pull out a calculator. Pre-algebra is a little bit more basic. Learn that a little bit better so that way when we get back into algebra, hopefully it's a little bit more understanding. She understands it a lot better, hopefully. But you do what you got to do. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't feel pressured to push your child past the limits that they're able to do. You do what the child is able to do and work on bringing them up in levels. You want a child that learned something and advanced and understands it and actually retains it, instead of a child that is at their grade level, but at the end of the year, they can't tell you a thing they learned. You want them to actually retain it. Hope you